presentation game. I need you to find another person. The game will be in pairs. So just stand up, find someone next to you, be in pairs. Okay, the first 30 seconds of the game will look like this. You will count to one. Yeah, come here, Marie. You will count to 1, 2, 3. 1. No, you go again. 1, 1, 2, 3. So you understand? You are saying the number, but when the second person says it, go just the next number. But you start again when you reach 3. 30 seconds. Are you ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. The next thing now is you're going to replace number 2 with a sound. For example, when I should say 2, I would say woo. So let's try. 1, 3. Woo. So replace number 2 with a sound. 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And the last step, you will replace number 3 with a move. With a move? Yes, with a move. Now you will keep number 2 as a sound, and number 3 will be some kind of movement, like, or. So we will make a quick demonstration. What was beat was number 2, right? Okay, 1 beat. 1 beat. And yeah. So 30 seconds. Last practice, please. Okay, thank you very much. You can take your seat. What other sounds? So today's agenda will look the following: that we will have presentations until 2 p.m. and then we have a less than an hour break, and we'll continue after 3 o'clock. And in the evening we have a kit. Nice, I didn't know. So without no further delays, I would like to ask here Tõnu Leemet from Estonian University of Life Science, and his presentations will be about challenges for the modern education in engineering. Yeah. Marili, can we share this presentation afterwards, or how all of this is?
Yes, of course, because there is nothing so special in my presentation. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello. When we first started the discussion with the organizers that we should have a presentation here on this seminar, they immediately replied to me and asked, hey, you should speak about modern agriculture. And this is actually a very reasonable request toward us, because I'm coming from Estonian University of Life Sciences, and it was formerly known as Estonian Agricultural University. So we have historical ties to the agriculture. And what is this thing over here? This is a tractor. It is called a tractron. It is a vehicle it is remotely controlled, and one can do some, one can attach over here several different, how to say, tools or applicators. And this is something we have developed together with a private company. And let's say, speaking about science fiction or the latest technology, what they are actually considering to do in agriculture is to put in a camera together with a laser. So the tractor will go to the field and it will look and destroy these bad insects that are there destroying the crops. So that was just some introduction for you about how we are still somewhat tied to agriculture. Okay. As said, I'm coming from Estonian University of Life Sciences. Let's say that was, sorry about that. We are situated in Tartu. Tartu is the second biggest city in Estonia. And our campus is actually, when you are driving from Tallinn to Tartu, then you would immediately see our campus because it is right beside the highway entering the city. I would say we are the fourth biggest university in whole Estonia. But, okay, in structure-wise, there are five institutes. And as the name implies, we are not technical or university of technology as such. But what we have and where I'm coming from is the Institute of Technology. Let's say our biggest faculties are the faculty of some kind of planting and so on, and also forestry and stuff like that, veterinary. But I myself, I'm coming from the Institute of Technology. In Institute of Technology, there we have different departments, and more specifically, I'm coming from the Department of Production Engineering. So, this is me. My name is Tõnu Leemet, as said, from Estonian University of Life Sciences. Actually, I didn't have quite, how to say, specific agenda what should be presented here in this seminar. So that's why I put in this rather, how to say, exciting or eye-catching name, Skill versus Challenge. Because what I was thinking to tell you, or what I was thinking or planning, are these my own experiences from this engineering, or more specifically from teaching field. Because as you see, I work as a kind of coordinator for several courses or for the whole production engineering curricula. Over here I put these fancy acronyms just to catch your attention. Of course, the courses or classes, they are not named like this. But this is the stuff I'm going to describe you today. This has definitely a strong relation to these fields. Okay. Motivation, or let's say what would be my objective for this speech. There is this example I have been, how to say, thinking about. For example, if one goes to a doctor, let's say one has to have a surgery for some reason, then you know, what would you say if the surgeon tells you that, yes, I'm a well-experienced lecturer, I know this subject from the books, I know the theory, okay, I haven't worked that much with a knife, but you know, don't mind, yes, don't worry. With this example, I want to say that also in engineering, we see quite a lot of let's say, people knowing theory, teaching theory without actually knowing how to put that into practice. That is what I was meaning by the doctor example. And in addition to that, I also, now I'm referring to the third point, I would say I have mixed feelings. What are the expectations and what is the satisfaction, for example, of the employees towards the guys coming out from the university, I mean freshly graduate? How well the graduate, they satisfy the real needs of the employers. This is what I'm meaning here. And also, I think that today the academic and let's say the academic engineering education, and also what we call, let's say, engineering colleges, let's say more towards applied education, and also the trade schools. Let's say the level and the depth of the education, I would say it's kind of starting to mix, if you know what I mean right now. Perhaps I didn't explain it that well. This is what I'm meaning. Where is the difference between the academic and other, let's say, levels of engineering education? All this has, motivated me to think that there is definitely something going on with higher engineering education. That there is definitely already a change going on, or it will be there soon. Because in my opinion, and I think that many of you perhaps support this opinion, the classic lecture where you have the lecturer, like me here, for example, standing, even, let's say, with my back towards the audience and just switching slides, like, it's not working anymore. Because what I mean by Google here is that if one claims that he has information that I'm not able to find from internet within 15 minutes, you know, I'm arguing back that you are either lying to me or other way, you have something that is worth Nobel Prize, something like this. And also the relatively open online courses. What I'm trying to say here, there are tons of ways to find information these days. Engineering education in that sense should change towards something else. And I guess that the solutions I have shown here are these modern innovative teaching methods. The problem-based stuff, the project-based, the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, because I understood there is a separate presentation coming on this subject later. I see that these can be a solution to this modern engineering education, what we should definitely implement. And I found this nice proverb, or how to say, different versions of this. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, yes, involve me, I learn. This is quite simply saying the same stuff that these project-based, problem-based, and STEM methods they are doing. You have to involve students in actually doing something, in putting the knowledge into action. It means gaining skill via doing that. Okay, and now to show you that I'm not just talking about this, I have also tried to implement this into my teaching work. What I have here is an example of our student project. It is called a Pneumobile, because I guess you know there are different kinds of student formulas out there. One can have an internal combustion engine, as our from the Tallinn University of Technology have. Then there are these solar-driven cars. But our students, they found out that there is this competition called Pneumobile, where you have to have a car that only runs on compressed air. So I can say that something like 4 years ago, yes, I was also involved in starting this project. But now the students themselves, they have taken responsibility of this project. But I myself, I find it as an excellent tool or excellent project that can be used also in teaching. And I'm going to explain what I mean more exactly. But yes, this is the formula. And more specifically, what I have here below is this one over here. This is a transmission box, gearbox of this new formula they have developed, a model of it. And what I mean by, let's say, project-based study, for example, they have these tasks to build the whole car, but one has to mentally to the finest detail. And we are speaking about here, this is really now interdisciplinary. You know, you have machine design, you have machine mechanics, you have material studies, you have CAD, you have everything involved in this one project. And more specifically, for example, it was just last week when we did this together with the students in one of my classes. We had to build one of the shafts from the gearbox. So, I mean, it was already designed within one other class, And also within one other class, they do learn how to do the engineering drawing from the 3D model they have developed, designed. And under my supervision, what we did, we went there, we tried to machine it out. I mean, you see, there is the whole process. You design, and then you end up with a finished project, with a finished product. And why I put this picture here is that you can also see we did make several mistakes actually when we first tried it. It was CNC machine, and just finally we did come to the result we wanted. I mean, that was just a quick overview for you, because I mean, in reality, this project-based teaching, it doesn't happen that quickly. I mean, it is like one semester worth of work in these 3 slides, or even much more. Okay, and actually this is now my concluding slide. What I can say from my experience about project-based or problem-based learning, teaching in engineering education, that it definitely brings the attention of the students. There is no doubt about it. It is a way to combine knowledge and skill, because this knowledge you gain from theoretical materials, you can apply those, and you gain skill by doing that. But there are also different problems, in my opinion. And the first one, or let's say not problems, but questions, for example. First one I've listed here is staff, because what I mean here is when we move to this project-based teaching, it means that the lecturer or teacher has to, every single time, has to adapt to a new project. And it means it puts a lot of stress to the teacher also. Because, I mean, some older colleagues, perhaps from some other universities, they have already their routine, they have their way, they have taught over years and years. I mean, they are reluctant to change. There is this inertia towards the change, also from personnel. This is what I mean. The other thing I have put here as a question mark is lack of depth. What I mean here by this is, for example, we take the shaft. The guys in my class, we did lathe, we turned out the shaft, but what I see quite oftenly as a result is that these guys coming out from the class now, they go and they claim, okay, I know CNC turning, there is nothing about it, you know, I have done this one shaft. This is what I mean by depth, lacking the depth of approach. And this last one I put here. Also, this goes together with the point here, or my idea here is that there is definitely no way that one can, how to say, learn everything. There is definitely some level of specialization is needed, even if we have this very integrated studies. To give you an example, you know, one guy who is programming the logic, for example, for the car, for some kind of pneumatic system, he can't be a good CNC machinist at the same time. This is what I mean here, that we need to have some kind of specialization still, even if we try to have these integrated studies or teaching. Okay, and finally, I'm ending my presentation with a question. Yes, it's definitely a great tool, this project-based, problem-based approaches to engineering education, but whether it is the absolutely correct way to continue, I guess it's found out, I would say. And this would conclude my speech. Thank you for the attention. I hope you gained something from this.
Okay, do we have any questions? Yes, Fredrik.
You stated that you need some level of specialization for the students to perform well.
Yes.
How about if it's a small university and then you have one degree, everybody follows that degree, how have you specialized in that degree? Because
Yes.
to get a degree, but you don't have a degree for civil engineering, you don't have a degree for CAD design. They have to do everything.
Okay. I'm not sure whether did I catch you right now, this question, but I can only answer that we do have only one degree available, but moving towards that degree, they have to run through all these subjects. And what is my task here is to integrate those subjects into, let's say, this one real-life project, as it is this snowmobile, for example. If I now answered your question, or
Well, you said that one person has to be a programmer,
okay,
another
yes,
person has to be a CNC machinist,
yes,
but can they switch?
okay, no. I guess now, if I'm understanding you now correctly, then this is my point that they cannot switch. I mean, after we are right now here, I'm speaking only about learning and teaching. In real life, in your career, this is what I'm trying to say. In your career choice, you have to stick to one option, at least for some period of time. Yes. I hope I did answer your question now. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, I will use my. Oh yeah, Russ.
I have a question. Lack of depth.
Yes.
So you recognize a staff member doesn't have it. What do you do to help?
Depth, I was more that the students coming out from these integrated courses, they are lacking depth. The example I gave, for example, if I had these students who did end with turning out these shafts, transmission shafts, they kind of have an attitude, I know everything about there is to know about turning. I mean, this is what I mean by lack of depth. Yes. Yes, I would like to add from my side also that, we have our area in the expedition area, so you can see the motor. There is laser. No. Laserit. No. So. Okay, anyway, I can show you that. Okay, we have this motor. It is over there, the pneumatic motor. You can see that. You can touch that. It's even working right now. And we also took this track drone with us. You can also talk with these guys. Okay, I hope I'm.
No, I would also ask you something. The problem you brought up is not actually a problem of only higher education. It's overall problem, but I would say that changes in higher education are easier in some way than in formal education for younger students. But taking this into mind, can you throw us 5 keywords, 5 characteristics of higher education in University of Life Sciences in 2025? How you would see it would be, according to your vision, what would really work?
Okay. I mean, I have several issues with the question. First of all, I don't believe that our university exists at 2025, but I don't know. I guess this is the question at my last slide also. I'm not sure where the education as such is going. If it will remain, or for example, I mean, companies will start their own colleges, but one thing I am sure of is that the classic lecture will disappear, because I mean the historical motivation here behind that is that, let's say, 100 years ago or something, the professor, he was the only one conveying or having the information, but today the information is readily available for everyone via the internet, via the books, with everything. So yeah, since that is actually pointless. Something.
Are the lecturers afraid of this change because many teachers in formal education are following the curriculum, and this is what they're paid for. This is their task: follow the curriculum,
Okay.
and you're done.
Okay. Definitely, some of them are, definitely. Yes, I mean, I guess this is as it is in politics, you know, because the ones that have been grown by the parties, I mean, their whole life has been in politics. They are afraid not being elected anymore.
Yeah.
But the ones who have a profession besides of being a politician, they are not afraid about this. And actually, one good saying comes to my mind here. You know this saying, those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, write books. I mean, this is a little bit related here right now, that I would like to think that those teachers, lecturers, they are skillful enough, they will readily find a job from industry or somewhere else. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
The next presentation will be someone very special. I got to know him a few days ago, and I have to say it has been quite a ride. So, Russ, the scale of opportunities for kids. And Russ is also representing a robbery organization, which I think you will be talking about them.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we have a deal.
So we're going to change this room. We're not going to be in rows, we're not going to be in columns, so I'm not going to stand here and lecture. I want you to form a circle, and you have 1 minute to do it. Seconds.
That's why you look so
That's not my presentation.
That's why you look so
Bring it a little closer. Don't be afraid to touch each other. It's okay. Come on. Bring it closer. Bring it closer.
Making it hard for the ones that are recording.
That's too bad. You know, they have to change. You know, don't let the media force you into one style of teaching. Don't let the classroom structure force you into one style of lecturing. You know, discussion is really what we need to do in education, not lecturing. We have to learn how to listen. And so I'm gonna, you know, I've got some slides. So can you see the slides all right? You want to turn around? Do you want to sit over here? We can change seats, yeah. You know, and most of my slides are just really pictures to guide the conversation. I've been teaching for 30 years. And when I heard the question about 21st century education, what's the model? What are the models? Do I scare you? Okay. Do I scare you now?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's close enough.
Oh, jeez, you snuck up on me. Whether you have a small class or a large class, I have found there isn't a model. Models actually sort of guide us, and sometimes we get locked into models, that it's the solution, and we do what the model tells us without really thinking. I had a job as a geologist. Terrifying. I was so scared because we had this boss who was crazy. And one time we told him, well, the models don't tell us that, Dave. Dave went nuts. He goes, I don't want you to follow models. I want you to go out and knock on every rock. Sample every rock. Test for gold. That's not what the models say, Dave. Don't follow models. And I said, why? He said, when I was a geologist, I went out to the field and I did what they told me to do. I follow the model. Look for copper, look for lead, look for zinc. Back and forth we went. No one told us to look for gold. And for 5 years, we were walking across the largest gold deposit in the United States. But the model didn't tell us to look for gold. So models can lock us into some dangerous behaviors. So what I say is the most important part, and our first speaker said that. It's the staff. You are the key. So I want you to turn to each other for just a moment and share one story about a terrible teacher you had. Don't talk about the great teacher. Share that really ugly experience that you had. Somebody who maybe embarrassed you or made you feel stupid or just was so boring the way they talk the same way every day. So you have 30 seconds to share an experience with the person next to you. Go.
Yeah, you can start because I'm still thinking.
Primary school, actually.
How long ago?
Primary.
Primary school. And think of that.
My God.
How old are you?
I'm 53.
Yeah. And you remember that experience by that bad teacher so long ago.
My God. That was... I mean, teachers are there to guide you and enlighten your spirit and, inspire you. This lady, I don't know if it was because she was unmarried or anything and she had, come to think of it afterwards. She was like a terrorist in the class.
A terrorist? Oh my God.
She was always wearing black clothes.
Yeah.
It was like,
Keep going. Keep going. I just want to listen.
We're speaking Lithuanian because we are Lithuanian.
Ah, Lithuanian. I have a new friend in Lithuania. I was in Slovakia, and she went down to watch our robotics. And so Vilta is my friend in Lithuania. So I need to visit. So can you speak in English?
Yes, we can.
So who was sharing the experience?
We already shared it, and
Yep.
I told my worst experience with teacher. I think it was when I was at the final grade in my school.
In college or high school?
In high school.
Okay.
And she asked what I chose to study at the university,
Yeah.
and I said ecology, and she said that it's probably the most stupid thing that I could choose.
And
So that was the worst.
it leaves pain. So, experience?
Yeah, we exchange it.
Yeah, we exchanged it. You want to hear that?
Yeah, just make it.
I drew a bird when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and my teacher showed that bird painting to the whole class and said it was the most ugliest bird she has ever seen. It was pretty embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing. Painful.
Yeah, it was painful.
It's painful.
I still remember this.
Absolutely. All right. So, bring this to the point here. So I heard from this young lady, yeah. I can say that because, I've gotten up here with... So she had a teacher embarrass you, right?
Well, not embarrassed, but it was kind of disappointment.
Because you told her you were going to do something, and she said it was stupid. And this poor man drew a bird. He's not Picasso. He drew a bird. And she said what?
It was the ugliest bird she
Ugliest bird. So you were really drawing the first version of Angry Birds. And here this young man, 53 years old, and how far back?
45 years.
He remembers the experience in primary school, right? And she was dressed all in black. She was like a terrorist.
Like an ISIS guy.
If you stand in front of students, you imprint on their brains really amazing experiences, but you can also imprint on them negative experiences in learning. You said it the best when I heard you say, schools, they need to be places of inspiration, encouragement, listening to the learner, not walking over and looking down at the student, just your positioning. If you're here, you put the power of the student above the teacher, just changing the eye level. You empower that student to be the one lecturing me instead of I lecturing you. Create.
Still works. Let the pizza.
Yeah. Thank you. So, years, you carry it for years, negative experience. But you can also carry those really amazing experiences. So now, switch the question. Talk about the most inspirational moment in education. Who was the one who inspired you? And I want you to think, it doesn't have to be a teacher in school. Because learning today is not just in the walls, it's everywhere. So take 30 seconds or 45 seconds and share now this like, whoa, I had this one chemistry teacher who just inspired me to become a chemist, or so forth. All right, so share the positive part now.
I need to start, yeah?
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
They're doing the work, not me.
Like your class?
Hey, I stole him from this Italian guy. Back in the hotel. I retired him.
So Gianfranco is now blind?
No. No, he's as blind as I am.
The lights went on and the new eyes started to work, so it was scary a little bit. I'm making a art project. I'm very so fascinated about those teachers and was hearing other teachers when it's supposed that they were just starting developing what's going on.
His brother get
Okay, I've got to wrap it up. Life lessons, huh? Yep. So I have a question. First of all, I look around and I'm like, wow, there's smiles on your faces. You're really feeling good about sharing this story. Who was inspired by someone other than a teacher?
Me.
Who?
My grandpa.
Your grandfather. But he wasn't in a school? He was part of family.
Yeah.
Anyone else inspired by family? No, the guy behind you. No, you. You. I don't want to embarrass you here. I'll come sit with you. Okay. You can just whisper.
Sorry. Online lectures, I heard some information from Han Academy. That was the greatest thing I heard. That's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that education should be in the future.
Okay.
I think its idea is very exciting.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. You know, learning comes from all over the place. We are just sort of a mouthpiece of ideas that we have learned, whether it be mathematics or physics or chemistry or woodworking, whatever. But learning is an ongoing process that's not just locked inside our walls of schools. And we are faced with the biggest change going on in education we have seen in 100 years. Because if you are not the one who inspires, then you're going to find this next thing really disturbing. Old habits. You are going to do what teachers did to you. That's your experience. You remember a great lecture, you're going to try to make that old lecture yours. And your experiences are going to be yours to pass on. If you don't try to innovate, if you don't try to step outside of your comfort, you are only going to repeat your old habits, the old lessons, the old ideas. Because I want...
I don't know what to think, what you mean there.
I don't know where you're thinking. I want you to get rid of that word in your vocabulary. You have a dirty mind.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Because the word I was thinking was fear.
I would say fail.
Oh, that's a 4-letter word, right? Fear. We are afraid of being embarrassed. We're afraid of making mistakes. We're afraid of being looked at as different. Fear. It is fear that keeps us doing the old habits. I don't know how to teach robotics. I mean, I have a robotics program all over the world. I go out and teach about connecting. I don't know how to program. I don't know how to build robots. And people go, yeah, you do. And I go, no, I don't. But I know how to connect the concept of robotics to education. I know how to talk to industry. I know how to talk to the colleges. And I know how to talk to teachers. And boy, we have our own vocabulary, trust me. So I know how to connect. But when I started down this path, I had no experience in robotics. So I was constantly staring into those eyes of fear. And robotics is so new, it is exploding. So I'm going to ask you real quick, just give me a thumbs up. Do you know how to teach robotics? Programming, design, electrical engineering. Give me a thumbs up if yes, sort of, no way. Yes, no way, I'm sort of, okay. And what a quick way to find out what your students know by just going, yeah, maybe, no. But that is what kids are dealing with in the world. Go outside, take a look at their excitement. And you're going, I see that they're excited. I don't know how to teach it. So if you're not able to teach something, you keep the door closed. So I'm now going to give you 30 seconds. Yeah, you probably only need 20. Tell each other what a robot is.
Easy. Because yesterday there was a lecture by the guy from European Space Agency. And this is the same concept I've been following for all the years. What
It's a kind of machine or device which should have
Okay. We could go on for a long time because actually telling someone what a robot is not as easy as you might think. Defining a robot, I thought was easy, you know. I'll be back. Wall-E. Hollywood taught me what a robot was. Oh my God. I've now decided and discovered that robotics is really 3 things. And you put it in simple words so your listeners can go, oh yeah. Input, process, output. And we even go a little farther. Come on, you can do it. Input. No, come on, do it. Input. Yeah. See, because now we're tying senses, kinetic motion. Input. That's right. Say it as well. Input. Now we're doing passion. Input. Process. Output. Now you do a little this. Input, process, output. Input, process, output. Are you laughing at me? Oh no, you're laughing with me. Okay. Learning is fun. But if you turn it into just dry, one-way conversation, it's the worst thing you ever want to sit through. And this is what students are finding. Going into that traditional classroom where it's set up in rows and in columns and everything is neat and orderly, so when my principal walks by, I look like I'm in control. Chaos is what we really need, because that's what disrupts the mind. And so, you know, we want to start to think about change. So let's really quickly look at this. You like that, Joe? Houston. You've heard that before? Yeah, Mr. NASA over there. Okay? You ready for the next one?
This time, nothing has changed.
It's color. Yeah, we brought color, so we're all right. We put stuff up on the walls. So, and that's what we do in education. We just move things around and go, see, I've changed. And the way I deliver, the way I engage, the way I teach content hasn't changed. So I've done window dressing. Now, sure, we're probably studying different topics and things, but the way we have set our model of teaching is really unchanged since the 1900s, the 1800s. It's sad because, I mean, look, just in 50, 60 years, we went from Sputnik to the International Space Station. We went from these little funny things they called, what were those, biplanes or airplanes? Those two brothers will never make it. You know, we created an incredible change. So you are the key. However you set your room, it's the attitude. Do you want to make it a negative experience that some students will learn and keep in their minds for 45 years? Or do you want to excite? Yeah? We don't do that. We drive it by the teacher, not the learner. You are here, you must learn. You are going to learn what I tell you to learn. It takes teamwork. I love this little picture with the guy down there with the kid. He's not at a board drawing a picture of a surfboard. He's not drawing pictures of a wave. He's dressed, he's at the level of the student, he's doing exactly what the kid needs to learn. So it's being involved. When you give students projects, by God, do the project and show them how you would do it. Because when they see what you do, they're going to try to rise up and beat you. Just don't tell them it's important to do it. Show them it's important by doing it yourself. It used to be we could fit all the kids from K through 12 into one little room and call it a one-room schoolhouse. Well, kids are coming from all over the world. They're coming from different class, family experiences, social language. We really have to adapt for the world, the global learner. Yeah, here's a model. Go home, take it, practice it. But the model doesn't work unless you do. Programs don't work, people do. The key is your staff. You know, and it's not just about math, even though I love math and I love physics. We need our kids to have global experiences because they need to see the connections. But if you haven't thought your way through your subject like that, and you only think about mathematics or physics or electrical engineering, and all you do is focus on one thing, you aren't showing the interconnections. And kids know they can go find it. Okay? Yeah. We're not just stuffing stuff into kids' heads anymore. We've got to show them how to connect it, how to use it. How to, 1 minute? Okay. Hey. So think about the classroom outside. It's beyond the walls of our schools. This is what kids are learning from. Not you as much as it used to be. Google, Facebook, the two main sources of information for kids today. I don't care if you like it or not, that's where they're going. So we got to think, how do we work with it, not against it? You know, oh, these little devices, 2007, 2008. Are you using smartphones in the classroom? Figure out how to use it. Don't try to block it, because these are sources of information. It creates change, it creates stress. But all of these things create stress and change. And it's like, if we're trying to do it, let's use it as an opportunity, not as something as a threat. Look at these kids. Where do you think they are? Do you think they come from vastly diverse communities? But they've got the world sitting in front of them through a laptop. So the key of 21st century, as for any century, it's you. It's you as the teacher, as the facilitator. You've got the key. You can keep the door locked, or you can open it up and go places where you never thought you would go before with kids. Thank you. Yes. Oh, have a seat, have a seat.
I have small questions. Your speech is very beautiful. I suppose your students are very happy. Your lecture is filled positive emotions. But I suppose it is you repeat your lecture time to time, every time, many times. And what do you think? My question. What do you think about teacher future? Is it possible to change lecture to robotics?
Oh yeah. You know, the delivery of information can be in many different packets. You can do it through a lecture. I'm not saying don't lecture. There is a time for good lecture, but lecture all the time? No. So there needs to be the activity. Example, I just came back from India. 80 out of 114 teams in robotics were college students. Their sensors didn't work, their programming didn't work. They started complaining that it was the track and it was everything. And I find out the college students, engineering students, I'm sorry, am I putting this up? No. They have never done hands-on. They have never done application. Theory, theory, theory. Are they really smart in theory? Absolutely. Give them a real problem and they don't know what to do. So change one little part of your week. Change one day, and that's 20% of your week by trying something, and then try it again, and then modify it, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Russ. And I think what Russ did now is something creating a really high standard for presentations. So we discussed with Janika and she said we'll continue the same way, because if we turn back to here,
you have something in your pocket?
That's kind of personal.
So, but the next presentations will be from Robotex has grown so much this year, is especially thanks to Janika.
Hi everybody. So high standards have been created. So I even just try to figure out what to do next to impress everybody. Okay, and I'm here like a marketing manager of Robotex this year. But also I've been an adult educator for nursery and elementary school teachers during last 2 years. And I have given workshops and lectures more than 1,500 teachers to ignite them. And now I'm going to demonstrate how I mostly conduct my workshops. It's kind of, you see a robot moves that way, or there. Another way what I do is where these blocks are lost. And these two moves are most common moves when you are a robotic teacher, either in nursery or either kindergarten. And who has been a teacher for this kind of teacher? You have been. Are you agree with me? Yeah.
Every time at the end of the class I have to go down and
Exactly. So, why robotics? Actually, it's a very simple question, and it's a very simple answer. You can't live without robotics nowadays. And maybe the adults don't realize it, that everything around them is robotic. Even the coffee machine is robotic, vacuum cleaner is robotic. When I ask in my classes, when I start, have you seen any robot? And the answer actually is no. If I ask, do you know something about programming? The answer is no. And when I ask why you are here, because I've been sent. So that's about this igniting and the first impression. And then I start to talk to them about the definitions, because you can't explain robotics if you don't explain what is the next production revolution is, if you don't tell them about STEM skills, if you don't tell them about 21st century skills. And finally we reach to the robots and programming as a simple way, just explain people and small children how they can manage after 5 years, after 10 years, just how they can manage, how they can live, what they must do, not losing their jobs if they are adults. And yeah, robotics is the most convenient education tool, but it's not the topics itself. Robotics is not topics itself. And probably all of you know, but it's always good to remember that in the future there will be not such amount of autonomous robotics, but the robot will collaborate with people. Right now, the huge plants and huge corporations already developed the ways that they will change these big, huge autonomous robotic systems to the smaller systems. So there will be collaboration. And probably after 5 or 10 years, the person next to you is not the person, but it's kind of collaborative robot. And that is extremely important that we start teach the robotics part of our everyday life already since kindergarten. It's extremely important. And yeah, you are here in Estonia, and what about the situation we have reached right now? We have understood here that it is important, but we have no plans right now to integrate into the curriculum. And it's sorry. But what we have done, thank you for different projects. For example, Halo is head of the robotics competitions in Estonia, beside the Robotex. We have started separate projects after school activities, and we have collected, let's say, amount of 100 or 200 teachers who have the mission just to teach and teach and teach and deal with the robotics every day. And we have kind of digital revolution here in Estonia. It means that the government has and will have invest plenty of money for that. But not only for robotics. For robotics, there almost 1 million has spent to provide this robotic set in the kindergarten and schools. But the skills are important too. And how to say, the digital literacy is extremely important to implement robotics too, because if I have talked with several teachers and supporting people, they tell that I'm sorry, I can't teach robotics if the small children just can't use computer, because they have parents who have idea that It's not useful for small children to play with tablets, to play with smartphones, to play with computer games, and so they can't start programming and build robots because they have to just play outside or drive bicycles. So, how it all started in Estonia? We can say that probably it started 16 years ago when the first Robotex took place, but also the group of professional robotics like Halo, you started already 10 years ago, or two, especially with educational robotics. But first there were basically these after-school activities and robotics competitions only. Now it has been 4 years when the educational robotics has brought to the kindergarten and to the elementary schools. And the purchase of these sets has been supported by government, by Information Technology Foundation of Education. And if you ask about the rate, how much does the government support, the rate is approximately 75%. So 75% of money comes from government and 25% must be financed by the institution itself. And in Estonia we started 4 years ago with Lego V2 project. And what was maybe the little problem? The little problem was that the Lego is still too expensive set to buy to home, because parents want children to play with these robotic sets at home too, and Lego V2 is just too expensive to do that. But nearly this year, other platforms like Edison, Peabot, Osobot, and other platforms came to the Estonian institution too. And let's say there are challenges and there are problems, because as most of these, like Edison and Osobot, are kind of startup robotic sets, they don't, I'm sorry to say, but they don't work properly. And if I ask the teachers what's the problem, you don't like so much this Edison and Osobot's type of robots, they just tell that I'm afraid of failure, because you will fail a lot with these kind of robots because they just don't work properly. And as most of the teachers are female, they have lack of STEM skills, elementary skills even. So they are so afraid of robotics stuff at all, and they need this robotic stuff to work 100%. That's the problem. And you see there are several constraints. Of course, the first constraint is the field is relatively new, and as we haven't implemented it into the curriculum, it's absolutely voluntary. So if the teacher is enthusiastic, government will provide robotics sets, so will provide free workshops, free courses. But if you are the, let's say, the elderly teacher, there is no need to deal with these robotics toys absolutely during the school time. And everybody has been talking about this collaborative versus individual teaching learning, and that's a really big problem in Estonia too, because in Estonia the profession of teacher, you have very high authority, and of course you have such a look to the pupils. We haven't this collaborative model at all right at the moment. And financial questions too, because these schools or kindergarten aren't able to buy themselves these sets if government doesn't support enough. And I have talked about that the government gives the money, but it's only for 50% of the needed money. So, what's our challenge? Our challenge is just find more and more enthusiastic teachers and create these supportive groups, regional supportive groups, to start more aggressively to use these robotic sets during ordinary classroom lessons. And what about conclusions? Also, we have thousands of robots, we have perfect materials, we have perfect workshops. There is still a lot of to do, and what I think the mission of Halo and me and others robotics enthusiasts to reach the stage that government understands that we need to put the robotics and STEM learning into curriculum. Otherwise, our children, if they grow up, will not be able to be competitive in the worldwide market to collaborate with these robots. Thank you from me, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Do we have any questions? Yes?
Yeah.
Janika, on the last, maybe, okay, you mentioned about digital safety.
Yeah.
Is it a real problem in Estonia, or just will be considered in the future? I mean, using robots, education robots, and other digital technologies in education have maybe not now, but in the future will have many problems because via internet terrorists could use this robot against the child, for example. Do you have some limitations to use robots in education in Estonia?
Actually, we
What
don't.
about digital safety?
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned, my presentation was focused on a kindergarten and elementary level. If you want to know more about this higher level, maybe Halo will be the better to answer the question, because Halo is a robotics teacher for the higher classes. Can you answer, please, Halo, instead me?
No, I mean
about the safety.
But that if the robots are connected through the internet, or well, most of the robots at the moment are programmed
autonomously
from the computer, not over the internet, but there are many solutions available through the internet also. But I think it's a good question also for Russ, because Russ yesterday was touching the topic of ethics, which so maybe you could kick in and...
Yeah, I mean, all technology brings a certain amount of risk. Take a look at an automobile. We build it for transportation, but it can be used for a bomb. We have airplanes for transportation, but it can be used as a weapon. Robotics is just one form of technology that we have to ask that question. What are we building it for? Why are we using it? And how do we protect privacy and security? It's the ethics, which we aren't talking about the ethics of robotics yet, but it's a topic that we need to have with our kids. The use of internet, Facebook, Google, all these things. We're sharing information today so freely, but can it be used against us? Absolutely. So we've got to make sure we're talking to kids about not just building and playing robots, but how are we to use them?
Yeah, so.
Ross, you had a question also.
Yeah, would you go back one more slide? There's a word here that's extremely important, and that is this word right here. Play. That's what we want our kids to do. They love to play sports, they love to play music. We've got them to get the same idea. We want them to play with technology, play with robotics. So instead of using the word workshops, start calling them play shops. It changes the whole attitude. Now you bring smiles to people's faces, and you're down on the floor playing. Because kids love to play. Matter of fact, adults love to play. So that concept, Jannica, is really, I think, a critical part of how we engage our kids to keep coming back to play.
What can I say? If I do my workshops or play shops with teacher, I always start that I'm happy to play with you next 3 or 4 or 5 hours. We are not going to learn anything, we're just going to play and enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Perikles.
Yeah.
I have a question. In your experience, what is the best way to motivate teachers to use robotics in their classroom, to participate in these things?
As I told you, Estonian teachers like to have authority, and if they feel that using these robotics kits and toys in the classrooms gives them more authority, that they almost as clever as these kids with smartphones, this knowledge makes them smile, because all teachers want to be as smart as kids, because everybody feels that they are not so smart. They need lack of this knowledge, and if they know even something more about robotics than these small kids about their smartphones, it makes them smile, it makes them happy, and it makes them really motivated, what I have noticed. Yeah.
If I could, Jannica, it's a great question. First ask the question, what is the teacher responsible for teaching? Look at their content. How can you bring this, not toy, but this tool into the classroom so that they can teach the content they're responsible to teach?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I have one. We learned yesterday and we learned today what is a robot. And I love this input, processing, output. Nice. Now we have a word educational in front of it. By conceptual level, what is educational robotics? And I would argue it's not just putting a robot to a classroom.
If I may make a little joke, then I explain the difference between robots and educational robots, that educational robots are totally not useful. Yeah, they are just they are totally not useful. They have just made for fun, playing and understanding this input, output, process, output. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Because if the presenter is comfortable with the situation, we are. Okay, so the next presenter is Emil, is it right? Yes. Okay, from Latvia. And I will not read the headline, so I will give floor to you at the presentation. Yeah.
Hi all, and my name is Emil. I'm representing Latvia. And, in Latvia, I'm leading the educational community called Start IT. So basically, what we did is the first time that informational technology industry went to the ministry and said, hey guys, stop doing this bullshit in informatics. Let's put some cool stuff inside. So that's what we are doing there. So the point we will be speaking about is like connecting the dots. What I was thinking about is about the challenge that we face in Latvia. I think you are facing in the countries you're working, is interdisciplinarity. So basically how you teach in informatics or robotics, for example, but how do you put the knowledge to the children or to the students, how they use this robotics knowledge or computer science knowledge in chemistry, arts, music, sports, farming, etc. Okay, so yeah, I just spoke about the agenda. Yeah, so that's me. Hi. So let's start with just one simple question, just to feel a little bit more energetic. Why do we need computers actually? So why do we need them in education? Why do we need them in general? Like, that's the question to everyone, yeah.
To make our lives easier.
Okay, cool. That's the general point. And any other options? Cool, playing. Other options. Guys, let's be just open.
Processing information faster.
Okay, cool. So we have a lot of different options, and everything is correct. So basically, but the main thing is that we can automate the stuff. You see the guy riding the bicycle, and okay, it's so much fun to ride, I don't know, across the street in the city center. But if you're riding on the hill, it's really hard for this guy with mustache to get on there. But the guy on the right side has a kind of, let it be computer automated solution that he can drive and enjoy his ice cream or soda while driving. So yeah, the thing is that why we're putting and aiming to bring in new solutions to the education is like in 50s or 60s the computers were looking like this, and it was harder to bring it to the schools. Am I right? Right now we're using this kind of stuff, yeah, the microprocessors, the small computers, the sensors itself that can be just put on your palm and can sense all the stuff around the room or outside and do the crazy stuff, do the computing. So yeah, and the programming itself before was like the schematic analytics of the algorithms, so being done on the paper, and it's kind of hard stuff there. Am I right? Right now it's just, yeah, I think everyone saw the Scratch programming environment. You just put the blocks and enjoy the crazy cat doing some crazy stuff. So yeah, so the thing that we're trying to put in the schools right now, and it's really important that computer and digital technologies are everywhere, basically. So we see this smart world concept. Everything is being automated by computers. I don't know if someone is bringing out litter, if the ship is drowning or the bridge is falling. Like the smartest bridge is being made in the United States, actually. I think it was there was a strategy, and you put a lot of sensor inside, and it's really good case for studying. So how do you use it in building the stuff in architecture or in just driving, for example, the computer science. And what I'm speaking about, this interdisciplinarity, imagine these dots are just, okay, so what do you see here? Let me just ask you a question. So what do you see here? Is it something similar with the things you saw in your childhood, for example? Just put on the dots the numbers. So yeah, so basically there was in the childhood we had this kind of books with dots and numbers. So you need to take your pencil or a pen and just draw the lines. So imagine this is your competence. Like, I'm a computer scientist. This is my dot on the left side. Someone of you maybe is a musician, for example. You're on the right side. Let us connect all the competences inside the child, and we'll receive this one. Not from that dots actually, but yeah, we'll receive something that is interdisciplinarity and how you can use your competences. And when they are getting outside the university or the school, they are really knowing how they can apply their knowledges everywhere, basically. So yeah, this was the concept of putting everything inside and try to put the connections between the stuff. So what does digital skill mean for the future society? So how we brought this problem to our government and to our country. So there was like, I think it was in 2013, so it's not the actual number, but every 2 days, as Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, said, like every 2 days we create around 5,000 petabytes of information. The petabyte is like thousands of terabytes. So you have a terabyte in your hard drive. Imagine like 5 million of computers standing here. And it was 4 years ago, actually. So the information we are creating is enormous. And as Ross mentioned, the sources of getting knowledge right now is Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And it was a really good presentation I wanted to share with you. I don't remember the surname, but the guy from MIT was speaking about, okay, everyone knows that in the next 10, 20 years, a lot of professions will just disappear. Like cashiers, for example, maybe some, I don't know, guides, and other professions. Maybe as teacher, but I don't think so, but still. And there was a use case, like a child came to a father, and a father said, hey, he said, hey, do you know who's Beethoven? So the child says, yeah, it's an easy question. He was speaking to his Google Glass. Okay, Google, so show me Beethoven. And Google showed him this stuff, Beethoven and a Beethoven. So basically, and the problem was like this, so a lot of enormous amount of information is around us, but how does the child will know what is actually the thing he needs to bring out of this, the amount of information, yeah, from this query actually. It was a really good case, I really like it and I use it in my presentation. So basically the child was like this, yeah, like thinking, oh my God, what should I choose? So this is the thing we need to teach in the schools, and this is the challenge we are facing right now. So how do we put this critical thinking point with our materials, with all the stuff we're bringing to the schools, and actually to the universities as well, because myself, I'm doing some guest lectures in university, and you can see that people coming from the schools, at first of all, they don't know, like, they come into computer science, for example. In the schools, they were not taught what computer science actually is, and they come in like in the forest in the university, and it's like, wow, okay, I'm kind of afraid, and half of them are just running away from this forest, and half are trying to like put the machete and go through it. So this is the challenge we're facing in the schools. So the digital skills can be imagined as a screwdriver. So and what the thing we are bringing is about programming the same, yeah? A lot of teachers are saying, and parents, like, why do we need programming and coding for the children? Why do we need to do that, to know this? But with the thing we're bringing there is like, hey, it's the same with a screwdriver. You should know how, you have, I don't know, you have a shelf and you're doing like some kind of stuff at your home. You should know that there is a screwdriver to put the shelf. Maybe you will not do it by yourself in the future. Maybe you will call a guy who will just put it by you. Instead of you, but still you need to know the concept, how it's working. And especially if you're looking in the world of digitalization, we need to know how the process is being done, like how this stuff is working, this metallic thing. And the informatics are looking like this in the schools. I don't know if it's in Estonia and Lithuania the same, cool. So basically what we are teaching children in the age of 14 is how they need to like put underline of the text or just make it bold, or how they need to save a document or make a new document. And it's embarrassing really, because children in the 8th grade, I went to the school and the guys was like, hey, I'm making my own, I don't know, World of Warcraft server on my computer. So he's installing the stuff, he's putting something in the console like a system administrator, and we are teaching the guys how to create a new document in a Word. It's like
disconnect.
Yeah, it's a fully disconnection, yeah. And the thing, why we basically we were thinking about the stuff, and we created Started Foundation. So basically we came like we combined 5 IT companies like Accenture, maybe you heard about this, other companies as well being located in Latvia, and also the banking services. And we went to the ministry and said, hey guys, we're investing fully. We're not asking for the financial aid from the government, but let us just work with the stuff. So what we created, we started with different concepts. One of us is Datorika, is being called computing. So we created a totally new subject in the schools. So basically we introduced the stuff, we made the interactive materials, and also created the concept of 2 robots. It's written in Latvian, sorry for that, but basically it's Lenis and Zippis. It's 2 robots. This is a drone, this is a humanoid robot. And they come into schools, and we're also integrating this kind of animated stuff in the lectures, in the play shops, in the workshops, yeah, and in the whole process of teaching. And the thing we did right now, we introduced it to 154 schools last year for the 1st, 4th, and 7th grades. And right now we are continuing with the 2nd, 5th, and 8th grade. So the same amount of school. And we're also looking to the 2018 to start this project in the whole schools, in the 100% schools in Latvia. Yeah.
Why did you pick those 2 grades to start with, 4th and 7th?
That's a good thing. The 7th, because we started to diverse the classes with more intense programming and more general stuff, but still about digital technologies and the stuff. The 1st grade, because it's starting. The 4th grade, because they're coming to another program. We have like different models, like from 1st to 4th grade, 5th till 9th, 10th till 12th. So that's why we're doing this. And we also created a web interface, so basically the computing is being taught on the web all the time, and there is an administration panel, so the teacher being introduced to this program, he has all the materials created by us, and he can also run a test, run some kind of sandbox to code for children, for example, there, and receive the marks and do the stuff like vice versa. And the students can see their own materials there and the grades as well. So, so the results are also in Latvian, cool. But basically what we saw that introducing this computing to the first grade, for example, the kids started receiving better grades in not only in math, but also in literature, for example, in drawing, in music, in other subjects. Maybe just the thing that happened by itself, but we're sure that putting inside this computing stuff, this algorithmical thinking and the critical thinking is helping to boost up the other subjects as well. And the thing we're also doing is we are investing in teacher courses. So basically last year we invested around 200,000 euros by our foundation inside the sphere. So we taught around 120 teachers around Latvia. So basically we have this model, yeah, we're creating the interactive materials, we're making the courses, we're launching like the class online, and then we're receiving the feedback. We're making webinars with teachers to receive just real-time feedback about the stuff. Maybe the teacher thought, hey, I have a better practice how to use this kind of material or this kind of topic, or it was the worst topic ever, let's just delete it. That happened a pair of times. But when we have a group of teachers creating the materials, like 20 of them, and it's really hard to think how it will be in real life, because you're sitting here, like here, imagine we will be creating here materials, and we will go next day to all the schools of Estonia. So the result can be different. And the other side we're looking on is the digitalization question. We're making the startit.lv website. We're launching like open courses as video courses, and also making a matchmaking for the workshops around Latvia about digital technologies. So the first course we were launching, we invested around like 40,000 euros for the mobile programming and started investing into faculty, like the workshops in the schools. So around 300 schools in Latvia started using this as not as a subject, but just after the school, sitting down and trying to put on this mobile programming. And we also launched a mentor program. So basically, the IT specialists were registering for our initiative, and they will just matchmake it with the schools. So basically, they were coming as mentors, trying to do some technical stuff, helping out the teachers, because the teachers themselves are really, like in Latvia, the social group of teachers are not as high as maybe it is, I don't know, in Singapore, for example, yeah, or in the United States. And that's why we're trying to help them, and not just saying, hey, we created new material, you need to pass the certificate, everyone, next year. Because if we're going this way, we're gonna receive really bad feedback and really high protests from the schools. So yeah, and starting today, we launched the Back to School initiative. Like in 2 years, Latvia will be 100 years old, and we will try to cover 100% of Latvian school with the interactive lectures for IT specialists to come back to their school and do some kind of workshop, play shop, or lecture about IT profession, etc. So yeah, if you have any questions about the situation in Latvia, or you just want to talk, just ask a question or contact me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Your funding, you talked about quite a bit of funding. Coming from the foundation?
Yes.
Or coming from government, or both? I mean...
Okay, we have our foundation consists of IT companies and also governmental institutions, but government is not investing by the capital. Yeah, we have a Ministry of Education and Science who is helping us with like putting this as official way of introducing this subject, because it's like a lot of paperwork and other regulations, but not the money. It's really hard. It's hard to get the investments from the government right now. But what we're trying to do, we have kind of the funding from the IT sphere in other companies, and we're trying to put it more social, because there are different stakeholders in this question. One is government for sure, the second is schools and parents and children.
And businesses.
Yeah, and businesses, yeah, because the same for businesses. Like Accenture company, they're looking to hire 300 programmers this year. And all Latvian universities are giving them around 200. And not all are going there. It's not the only company in Latvia. So this is the one case, but still they are also looking not only for programmers, but for people to understand how to use digital technologies in business. So this is boosting up the sphere, the whole sphere, digitalization sphere in Latvia. So this is the stakeholder. But right now we're also working with children and parents. If the parents will believe that digitalization is not only like gaming in computers, I have this issue with the like association of mothers, young mothers, they're saying, hey, I have a child there sitting in the iPads and doing some like gaming, it's going nowhere, yeah? But they have this stereotype of IT and digitalization. We need to change it. So that's what we're working on right now.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
How teachers, like, are they accepting this thing?
Okay, that's a good question. As I said, we are not like we're not going like a government is doing all the time. Yeah, like, hey, this is the law, this is the standard. You need to do like this or you just get fired. Yeah, we're not doing like this. This is not our model. And the thing we're doing, we're investing, we're going to the schools and saying, hey, we have the materials, we have everything. Let us help you to bring it to the next level. That's why they're accepting it. And we're also looking to social part. Starting next year, we'll make some kind of web page of leaders of teachers. Yeah, so like. The parents living in some kind of small city in Latvia will see that teacher John, for example, is the leader in computer science because he's using our program, and it's kind of like not a present, but appreciation for the teachers. So basically, they receive this thing, and in Latvia it's really important because the teachers are not so well received and well paid. So that's why we're accepting this thing. Yes.
I have a similar question because what you say is how you deal with still how the teachers, because I think now this is kind of a problem that there is quite a gap in this one sphere where children are quite often more like smarter and better skilled than the teachers, and it's quite difficult for teachers to acknowledge that there is this gap, and in this one sphere they might be the children, and then when you go on this so how really they accept? I mean, are there some like negative reactions to that, or how is it really on this sense?
Okay.
Because I encounter quite often that you know, for kids I think it's very hard sometimes in school because they know they are better. Does not mean anything.
Okay, so the first point I will say, as I think the teacher shouldn't be the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, it should be a guy who can guide you, can show you the possibilities of using your stuff. Because yeah, children are thinking they're the smartest asses in the classroom because they are gaming, they're writing web pages or doing some stuff, social networks. But if you show him, okay, the same like with some kind of Excel, for example, yeah, Microsoft Excel. Right now we're teaching how to make bold, underline, this stuff. But if you just put, hey, there is Excel, and you can use it in the politics class to calculate, for example, the amount of people going for voting and the like parties, yeah, and all this graphical stuff. We use the same for computing for music, because we bring the sound waves and we show that, hey, this is a mathematics and computing, so you can write your own songs. And the teacher should not like be the professional inside of this. He just needs to show these points, the first steps, and the children will go there, like to show the road. But we have a big gap with the programming, because in the starting 7th grade we have this diversity, more deeper programming, and this is the gap right now. Because yeah, in programming you need to know at least how to deal with some kind of issues with algorithmic and other stuff. And we don't have so many teachers right now. So we are looking, we have an initiative called Possible Mission, like ESPM Misija. So basically they're trying to get students, last year students, to the schools and paying them some grants, like 400 euros plus the wages, yep. And it really works. We're also working with this kind of teachers, the young leaders who can bring this stuff inside of schools. Yes?
Initiative available in English as well?
Not yet, yes, but we are looking for this, yeah, because it's speaking about the video lectures, it's kind of investments because the one lecture cost is about 1,000 euro for us. And we were thinking, okay, we need to launch it to Latvian society, and still there is like a gap. If we launch it in English, and the person is kind of like skilled, he will go to MIT lectures, not ours, like, or maybe Khan Academy, yeah, to go deeper programming. The thing is, we're trying to motivate them to look inside the technologies with this kind of stuff, like using young bloggers, for example, Latvian bloggers, to show them the stuff being made by professors and lecturers. But we're looking for this starting next year, yeah. So.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I'd like to add something to your question. We used to work just with teachers in robotics and teaching because they were afraid. We started seeing greater success when the teachers and students were in the same play shop, because then they watch how fast the kids learn, and they're watching the kids and they're learning, oh, show me how you do that. Instead of having the fear of like, I don't know what to do, you build a collaboration between student and teacher in the play shop.
That's really important to break the bonds between the teacher and student as well, yeah.
Because the kids are smart, but you're really trying to teach them some different skills than just gaming. You want them to start putting logical thoughts together in terms of simple programs. Well, that's not gaming, but it is in a sense. So it's reinforcing, yeah.
When the student becomes the teacher.
Yeah. You watch a child's face churn and teach a teacher, they get a self-esteem, they get pride that they just taught the teacher. That makes them feel pretty important.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
thank you.
Very much.
Thanks.
So now we have a break, and let's make an agreement that we'll be back here 5 minutes before 3. Otherwise,
you have your stomachs full and you're not too tired. If you are, take another cup of coffee, and if you're still tired, take the third cup of coffee. I think I will have to do that. But I will give stage to Andrei from Russia, and he will talk about engineering and education.
Okay.
So, here you go.
Dear colleagues, hello again. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to participate in this conference. I am thanks organizer to invite me because I'm not a teacher, I'm more scientist, but but I have a chair of electromechanics and robotics department in the university, and we combine educational and research activity and involve our students and PhD students to research process. So we follow the idea to create our specialists from university, invite them to our research, real research projects, and using our innovation companies to involve them also to the real commercial companies. So in St. Petersburg Institute for Informatics and Automation of Russian Academy of Science, where I am a deputy director for the research, we have two main laboratories which deal with State University of Aerospace Instrumentation. Sorry. Okay. It is laboratory of course, autonomous robotic systems, laboratory of speech and multimodal interfaces, and we create the first laboratory from the second one 2 years ago, when found that robotics have the problems in human-computer interaction, and it is the main technologies which should be also introduced to robotics too. And in St. Petersburg State University for Aerospace Instrumentations, we have electromechanics and robotics department, also technical system control departments, and in this year the STEAM center also was established, and several innovation companies in Spiras and university. So it is our facility which we use during the educational process. Of course, it is humanoid robots, Darwin, now, and in this year our sponsors give us the robot Baxter for collaboration, for collaborative robotics research and education. Also in this year we establish RoboCup Russian committee and start this activity in Russia. In Tomsk, in end of April in this year, we hold the first RoboCup Open in Tomsk, Sibir. So next year also we will hold this event, and I invite all of you to participate too. And of course my participation here, it is a pleasure for me because I'm increasing my experience to hold such events for childs in robotics activity, and Robotex is a great opportunity to because it is very close to St. Petersburg, and I just take a car and go here 6 hours. It's very quick. So it is our different stands for research and education, our students of energetics. Also we have study of superconducting synchronous generator, and this is experimental prototypes of such devices. Also we have in University Innovation Technologies Center for power engineering, which includes applied superconductivity, non-conventional energy sources, energy storage systems, and electrodynamic levitations. Some slides I read, like not good teacher. Okay, and other also devices where our students and PhD students take real efforts in creation and work of these devices.
Are these students graduate students?
This is graduate students.
Graduate.
This one, yes. This is this is our teachers and director of the institute give a lecture in order to increase the experience and the new facilities. So also it's other our facilities which used in the engineering school, and in university now there is engineering academy which also involve our students to local projects, local university projects. So, and this is a prototype of superconductor synchronous motors up to 50 kilowatts and some transformers, motors and generator, which used in our research center in the university. And other activity of St. Petersburg Institute of Informatics is deal with human-machine interaction. I start with research about 15 years ago, and since 2007 we participate in FP6 European projects which was devoted to creation multimodal interfaces which use similar natural modalities like human interact with human. Of course, it's using speech, gestures, etc. And multimodal interfaces helps us to improve the robustness, effectiveness of communications, and reliability. Moreover, this type of interfaces is very useful for disabled people because they could change or choose the information channel which more acceptable for them. It is several demonstrations of our research in this area. It is realization of B model voice activity detection using face tracking and audio source localization using microphone array. This is our model of tracking, search and tracking the face using natural points, eyes, lips, nose, etc. And we use this technique in order to control the computer by head. This is also our joint technology which was developed by Belarusian University and University of West Bohemia from Czech Republic, which used in order to create speech synthesis for Russian and Belarusian speech. This is virtual assistants which used for disabled people and synthesize sign languages. This is two different types of languages, by word and by phonemes, visemes, sorry. And this is our multimodal information navigation systems. It works in our institute and give some information on navigation services to our guests. We use mobile, left one, and stationary embedded system. And last one, from in the right side, it is a distributed system which contains of several monitors, microphones, arrays, video cameras, which is located in different part of the institute and track different of the same guests and provide them many different informations. This is a prototype of intelligence meeting room, which is consists of all our technologies of audio tracking, video tracking, and provide different automatic services for lecture and meetings recording. Here the demonstration of our automatic registration systems, which track the entering participants. Then some cameras found the faces, and then face recognition systems recognize these faces and recognize and set it in the systems with here unfortunately with their names. Also the facilities of meeting room could be controlled via mobile phones or smartphones. I go back to robotics directions. It is research directions of our laboratory, including collective proactive behavior of robots and swarm robotics. Also, we develop different types of multimodal interfaces for robotic systems. Of course, assistive robotics for disabled people, and humanoid robots for educational area. And one of the other main direction of our research is creation embedded systems and special processors for robotics and other systems. This is our sport room, where we train our robots to Robocup and other different types of robotic events. So, but I suppose you know the price of this robot, and of course it is very expensive, and as a result our students and we start to create own robots which will use advanced features. And now this is a video of was recorded during summer, June perhaps. Now it's already full body, and we now are completing the audiovisual processor. This is also our embedded processors. This is institute development, and now it has serial production. And also we have the main problem of creation this robot is using dynamic cell servo prevods, which takes around 50% of all price of the robot. As a result, also we develop now own controllers which could be used with very cheap servos. Okay, and we follow the strategy that each part of robot should be a module like arm, leg, with completely own systems for servos, for energy, for controllers, etc. So this is our facilities of research center in the institute, which have all the types for mechanical processors, processings, etc. And of course, I invite you to our conference in this next year. We will hold in United Kingdom. we will have 19 conference speech and computer, and in this year we established new conference interactive collaborative Robotex. Both proceedings are published in Springer and indexed in Scopus. Also, our journal Spiras Proceedings in this year was included in Scopus, and also it printed papers in Russian and English. So, to conclude my speech, I would like to told again that we try to involve our students to research process, to research products, to real projects, and it helps us to prepare the researchers which have all the necessary experience and competence for our institute. Okay, thank you for attention. During the questions, I would like to show a video. It is video of our university of. Okay, questions.
So, any questions for Andrei?
So are you working with high schools? You know, I see your college students, but do you have programs where you work with public schools or high school age kids?
In the university we have a special department which work with secondary school children too, because we make preliminary courses in order to them get entrance to university next year.
It's recruiting.
Yes, yes,
those students.
yes.
You work with the teachers as well, or just students?
No. These teachers and with students, of course.
I have a question that you introduced about your university and institute, but today we have been also talking about education and in lower education. Maybe we have actually time a little bit. Maybe you could talk how is it going on in Russia. Do you see the same challenges as we see in education that we have been talking today, that teachers follow the curriculum and everything is being taught, and we are not actually concentrating on skills that we need for this century?
In the Russia we have maybe some strange situations that there are many graduated students for humanitarian, social science, for social directions, but unfortunately not so many and not so with good quality for technical research.
Okay.
And sometimes the industry companies would like to
have more
take to the work not graduate students but secondary schools child, because they have not have ask not so high salary. Learnable.
Okay.
But robotics is very actual now everywhere, and in Russia we have many conferences, students events which are devoted to this direction, and which could be participated but not only scientists but students and young scientists, and it is very important for development good workers for this industry.
Yeah, that's what we are facing also in Estonia. That the students are taken from university to go to programmers already. They're not graduating, and it's a huge problem. Any questions?
Programming languages is Russian or English?
Programming languages. It's we use Python, C++, JavaScript. I suppose the English is international language for formal languages. If you mean for child and visual programming.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. You have a question? No. Okay. Thank you, Andrei.
Thank you. Oh, no problem. No problem.
Our next presentations will be from Terje, and she's actually head of Estonian Research Council Science Communication Department. So,
hello. I hope you do hear me when I speak. Is it better?
it's better.
This way. Okay. Yes. Because I just lost my voice a few days ago, so it's not very strong. I hope it's okay for you if I don't speak about robotics, because I understand that you are gathered here to talk about robotics, but I was asked to talk a bit wider about STEM education in Estonia, how it works, what's the system, and what are our plans. Okay, so you know what STEM means, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and it's obvious that STEM, of course, is more than robotics, but STEM is problem with STEM in Estonia and Europe and in the whole world is much wider. During coffee break, the unfortunate accident with Donald Trump came up. I think this is lack of STEM education, lack of STEM thinking in society. Same happened last summer in Estonia, not Estonia, but in Europe with Brexit. This was also a result of lack of STEM thinking in the society. So we have to approach this much more connected and integrated way. Now, STEM education in Estonia. In general, everything looks very good. All students in our general education schools in the system study science and STEM throughout the school, throughout the gymnasium, starting from grade 1, ending with the end of gymnasium. There is no option that they can opt out from this, as it is the case in many other European countries, for example. And our new national curriculum, that's not even so new anymore, it started like 5 years ago, supports a lot of STEM initiatives at schools, and it supports new teaching methods and approaches at schools. So actually teachers have quite a lot of freedom to do what they think is needed in terms of methods, study locations, and also some parts of curriculum. Other thing is that research and creative projects are compulsory in Estonian schools. All students have to do it twice during their school years. Normally at, I think, year 8 and then at year 11. And many of them do it on STEM subjects. Of course, it depends on who are the teachers, what kind of projects are they able to supervise. But if students at all are interested in STEM, they are able to do it in the STEM subjects. And also Estonia is quite on the top on PISA tests. And this is something that we are very proud of because all nations are proud of things they are good at. So PISA test is quite a big thing here. And we are really in the top of PISA tests in math and science. So it looks all quite good. But we are not very happy still. And there are several reasons for this. One is that students do not understand why they actually need STEM. They have to do it. They are quite well trained. They do well in tests. But many of them do not relate still to their area. And they do not understand why I have to do this, what kind of future could I have if I study this further. And as a result, not enough young people in Estonia want to become engineers or scientists. And this also means that the STEM thinking is not as widespread in society as we would like to. There is especially a big problem with E in STEM. The engineering education is, well, it's not so much at all part of general education. It's not integrated. Some teachers do it, others don't. Some integrate some elements, but it's a big problem. And I think the biggest problem in our education system and in many others is that STEM subjects are not integrated with each other. And the teaching is subject-based. So when you study chemistry, you don't understand that this is the same thing that you study in geographics, for example. And we've heard that Finns are about to solve this problem somehow with their curriculum. We don't know yet how they are going to do it. But we are very hopeful to learn from them when they really succeed. And also problem is that STEM teaching at school is not connected with life. It's a lot textbook based. Teachers do not feel very confident with things that are really connected with life and go out from textbook. And the final and also huge problem is lack of STEM teachers. And it was a couple of months ago an environmental education conference where organizers invited high school students to come and speak about what they like about our school system and what they do not like and what they would, how they would like to be taught at school. And the main thing they said was that could you please teach us the real life things, actually what is out there, so that we can actually use it somewhere. And also, could you please integrate things, because life is not subject-based. life is kind of integrated, as we know. So students know it, and I think biggest problem is that teachers do not know how to do it. They also know that it should be done, but they do not know how to do it. And this is probably the reason why efforts of education system alone is not enough. That areas around education should support teachers, should support schools with this endeavor, because this is important to all of us, not just for schools. And the key is in cooperation. It has to be regular. It has to be content-based. It can't be just one-time thing that is project-based, but it has to be something that schools can depend on and feel the support. It's good if it's coming from outsiders, meaning not people within the education system, for example, from industry, from I don't know, local governments, from hospitals, whoever feels that actually STEM educated people are needed for them too, should somehow support the endeavor to get the result out of it and to benefit also. And also this cooperation should support curriculum, because at school teachers are kind of bonded with the curriculum. They cannot get out of it. So whatever support they get from outside, they should be able to link it with the things that are asked from them, really. Some possible cooperation partners that have been active in Estonia: cooperation obvious with other schools, with schools of vocational education, for example. This is a totally different system in Estonia. I don't know, in many countries it's connected more. In Estonia it's totally different system, but they have much better labs, for example. They are much better equipped in many cases than general education, so it would be a good idea to do something together. Industry, local government agencies who actually are able to provide, for example, for schools, real-life problems that need solving. At students with their knowledge, we know that in the end of gymnasium, students are the smartest in the world because they have learned it all. After that, you start already forgetting things. So students are able to do a lot more than just solve fake problems at school. So maybe if organizations who have real problems could give them for students to solve and get also benefit from it. Sorry. Then there are informal education institutions. In Estonia, there used to be quite strong network of so-called hobby schools, where you could get to science clubs or to dancing clubs or to sports clubs after school. And the science part of it has grown like smaller and smaller in the years. So cooperation with informal educational institutions with this kind of extracurricular activities and clubs could also support the activities that students do at school during the curriculum studies that they have to do. If it's connected to something they are really interested in, and if they have a place where they can go outside school to develop these skills, then they maybe feel a bit better if they, for school, have to train more things that they are not so good at. For example, this is kind of strange thing about our general education, that usually children spend more time on things they are not good at than things that they are good at. If they could do the other one, they would get much, much better in this. So using extracurricular activities for this to support their abilities might be a good idea. Cooperation with universities in Estonia is very strong. A lot of university students are working together with high school students. The whole robotics movement actually came out from universities. Robotex is one result of it. Things that Halo is doing is other result of it. So this cooperation is quite working, and as a gentleman before me said, that this is of course, universities need smart students. So they need to get them as early as possible and bond with them as early as possible. But also I think that local governments, even small local governments, could use somehow students' abilities in STEM and could support these developments better, because in Estonia most of the schools belong to local governments, so they have quite huge power in making connections between educational establishments under their jurisdiction and maybe also with enterprises that are located there. So cooperation is important. Show some cases of cooperation. One that is probably running also in many of your countries is the movement Back to School, where people from whatever fields of action are going to school to give lectures, to give play shops or workshops or however it's called, and support this way. In Katrina Gymnasium, they have created jointly technology curriculum together with their alumni, together with enterprises that are located there, enterprises that saw that they need students who would go to study IT and come back to work for them. So it's quite a popular and huge school now where students go to study IT. In Põltsamaa, chemistry labs of local small food factory are used for chemistry lessons at local school. So children go there regularly. In Tartu, curriculum for sustainable development was created together with one gymnasium and Tartu Nature School. So it's taught in nature school, but it's credited in gymnasium for the students who go there. So it's a very good example of cooperation where people who are very good at this subject or this field at nature school teach students, and school teachers do not have to worry about their abilities so much. And for local governments, right now, kind of clusters of small local governments are discussing and negotiating in order to map their needs and opportunities, what they can offer to others around them and what kind of needs they have. Maybe one local government doesn't have a sports school, and students from other governments can go there to do sports. And same thing with technical schools or maybe we do not have physics teacher, can you lend us the physics teacher? So it's also a very good way to start cooperation. In Estonia a few years ago, we started a movement that got heading like Estonian Research and Technology Pact. This is a general cooperation agreement between state, including several ministries, Ministry of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Education and Research. Right now, Ministry of Defense is thinking about joining. Universities, industry, and other smaller players in the field have signed the pact to say that we think that STEM education is important. We think that we need more STEM-educated people in our society. And with this signature, we say that we do what we can to support it. This is a, let me see if I have it here. Yeah. Joining the pact does not involve any money, so you do not get anything from it really. But the process of joining has been turned out to be very like a good development process, because everyone who joins has to submit an action plan and say what we can do. They can see what other these kind of institutions have written in their plans, and they can start thinking what kind of things we could do. For example, ministries, usually they think that if it's in the end, they understand that really we need these people. So we need somehow to give our part of it. Right now, 25 organizations have joined, and 25 are planning, preparing their activities plan. So it's a process, not going very fast, but it's like, I don't know, priesting the STEM education. And these kind of movements in Europe have joined into EU STEM coalition. This is quite a new thing. We were the initiating partners of it, together with Netherlands, Denmark and Belgium, and right now already new countries are coming. So you are all welcome to join it. Now a few more words about, I said before that the research or creative projects are compulsory in our schools, and to give some additional motivation for it, there are several contests where students can come with their research projects. And also 2 years we've organized a Student Science Festival where best research projects are showcased. So a few words about these. I will skip this, I already told you about it. These projects usually are supervised by teachers or researchers. Of course, it is kind of connected with what teachers can supervise and what they cannot. For example, I do not think that very many of these are done in robotics, because teachers do not know how to do it. Even if they are teaching robotics, they do not make the connection in many cases. But in general, it is good for trying to do something meaningful in the area you think you want to be involved in the future. For example, if it's chemistry, you can try something. If it's poetry, you can try it. Or whatever you want to do in the future, you can do it twice during your high school period. And if the first time you choose chemistry and you find out that you're not interested in it at all, then next time you can do arts or something else. And also, I don't know how in your countries, but at least in Estonia, the tasks that students do at school usually last a week, maybe, longest, and then they forget it. But this is something they have to do for months. They start it in September when the school year starts, and they finish it so they have to work with it for a long time, and they learn a lot of other skills on the way, how to plan your work, how to plan your time, what to do. So it's good for many things. And they usually, the research projects, they study things that are, well, around them. So they study food, they study people around them, what their other people in the class think or don't think or don't like. They study behavior of animals if they are interested in that. But also, especially when they do it with researchers, they study things that you don't understand really. When you look at the headings, you understand only words like and or in it. It's, they can do extremely complicated things, and they are capable of doing extremely high-level things, so that afterwards, when researchers read their projects, they say that it's quite good master-level project, really, because they are so good if you give them opportunity. Other contest we have is contest for young inventors, and even there we do not see much robotics, I must say. Looking at Hela, here are some of my favorite things. I would say that, do we have a pointer here? How is it?
It doesn't reflect.
It doesn't reflect. I will just show. My all-time favorite is the wallet for pocket money. It's a wallet with lie detector. So if you want to buy something, the wallet asks, do you really need it? And there is a lie detector. If you say yes, and you actually do not need it, the wallet will not open. So you cannot buy anything if you lie. And other things, easy to find slippers. This was a few years ago. A boy from first grade actually built slippers that react to whistle. And he built it for all members of the family, so that the father's slippers react only on father's whistle, because it's like lower, you know, and mother's slippers to her whistle. Things like that. But in many cases, we get to this contest ideas that are quite bright and good and could be really realized. But when they start thinking about how would this actually work, they say that it works with batteries, or that you have to push a button and then it works. So they do not see the logic behind it, and even if they have been involved in robotics, they do not make the connection. Actually, this could be realized with methods that they learned there. So the integration is much, much needed here. And at the Festival of Young Scientists, once a year, this is a final of our Young Scientists contest, where 100 best research projects through Estonia come together. Everyone can look at them and talk with the students. We also showcase their primary school science projects. In primary schools, they do a lot, also robotics, and a lot of other performances, for example, from science theaters that are quite common in our schools these days. I don't know how much time I have, but there is one more thing I want to talk to you about. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Can I speak more? Yes. It's a Rocket 69 because I have 5-minute video to show you. Yeah. I have 5-minute video to show you. Rocket 69 is a TV show in Estonian television. That is right now the 7th season is in making. And I think before we go further, I will show the video.
Rocket 69 is a competition for young science and nature aficionados. The need for a format like this has existed for a long time because natural sciences are not exactly the most popular choices in Estonian universities.
Lack of qualified scientists and engineers is a global problem. All my fellow researchers all over the world confirms that. In order to motivate our youngsters to study more mathematics and physics, we need to give them some examples, some superstars they could follow.
One series of Rocket 69 consists of 16 episodes. In the first episode, all candidates are auditioned and 15 of them are chosen to take part in the game.
Olete te valmis teadust tegema?
The youngsters must give a presentation to demonstrate their knowledge.
Mina tahan teile näidata, kuidas mina tekitasin pudesse pilve, kasutades meditsiinilist piiritust ja pumba.
Different skills.
Ehitasin siis valmis sihukese lumekarusselli.
And creativity.
Seda asja võiks näiteks müüa kui üksiku saalekomplekti, et kui teil ei ole tuletikke, kuidas te teete tuld?
The candidates are chosen through Olympiads, schools and student science associations, as well as via the internet. Teachers and instructors are also of great help in guiding talented youngsters to the competition. While it is easy to select the best among models, dancers and singers, a future science superstar is much more complicated to recognize. Theoretical knowledge in this case is less important than the ability to harness it, think innovatively and make oneself clear for the viewer.
Kohtunikuna ma ennekõike hindan noorte võimet saada tuleviku teaduse superstaarideks. See tähendab, nad peavad olema selleks targad, osavad, kuid ka säravad esitlejad ja suhtlejad.
The first 9 episodes are shot in a studio and the tasks will get progressively more difficult. The contestants must solve different tasks both alone and together, show their teamwork skills, withstand enormous strain on their nerves,
Need ei ole samad. Need ei ole üldse.
And harsh comments from the judges.
Te saate aru, et kui te panite kõige kergemaks ilmselt alumiiniumi ja kui te siis kirjutasite ühe natuke raskema metalli taha alumiinium, siis oli absoluutselt lõputult kõige valem vastus, mis te sinna oleksite saanud kirjutada.
Mere book knowledge is not enough to solve the tasks.
Proovime lasta naeladest elektrit läbi, et äkki saab magnetit.
Open-minded players with logical thinking skills will have an advantage.
Sa pead need magneesiumribad mulle panema siia peale, et ta nagu hakkaks paremini kohe süttima.
Finding links between different disciplines and applying physical finesse at the right moment is also needed to complete tasks. The most difficult matter for the organizers is the preparation of tasks. Every episode must contain 3 tasks of varying difficulty. A group of Estonian scientists, led by a science editor, are responsible for that.
Tõesti riskib juua seda või?
Vabandage, ma pean minema.
The tasks need to be visually attractive, take no longer than an hour to complete, have alternate ways to solve, help the competitor show their skills, and help to explain either a pattern or a phenomenon to the viewers. The outcome must be measurable, and ideally, the viewers should be able to learn something practical.
I appreciate most if they invent something for themselves, if they have heard. But they have tried to make this abstract theoretical idea to a practice. You can say the show becomes generating. It's generating new value, new knowledge.
Viewers can also watch their favorite contestants on the internet, where the content of each episode is more thoroughly explained. Starting from the Stone Age and moving up to electronics and robotics, the contestants will eventually reach the theatre of science, where they will have to perform in front of an audience. From the 11th episode on, the game will proceed to different educational and science institutions all over Estonia. At the end of each episode, one contestant must leave. In the super final, the best two remaining contestants are pitted against each other, and the winner will receive a €10,000 scholarship to aid them in their studies.
Pöördudes tagasi klassikute poole, siis miks me läheme kuule? Mitte sellepärast, et see on lihtne, vaid sellepärast, et see on raske. Need ülesanded on tohutult rasked, aga neid tehes on lõbus. Sellepärast, et need asjad, mida me õpime, need ebaõnnestumised ja need õnnestumised, need on need, mis muudavad maailma paremaks.
Okay, so few words about the show. Let's pass that. As you already saw, the winner will get 10,000 euro prize and free pass to Estonian universities. It is broadcasted on prime time in Estonian national television, and it has a huge audience, like 100,000 per episode. What is huge for Estonia with 1.3 million inhabitants. A big part of the audience is in the age of 7 to 11, so they actually see their superstars there. It's supported by online editorial videos that you also saw one of those there. That is explaining what is done and what would have been the best solution for the assignment. And winners and participants from previous seasons participate in the science editor's team, and the science editor right now is one of the past winners actually. So they are involved in the process. And a lot of people from academy industry and so on is involved. And there are direct links to STEM education at school. Rocket 69 is doing roadshow with former winners at schools before they start casting for next season. Also the past years participants are invited to schools to talk about their experience, and assignments from episodes can be used at schools in different STEM classes. There are short videos online, but also without that it can be used at school. And in several schools, Rocket 69 format has become kind of teaching method. Let's do Rocket 69 today. And as I said, 7th season is in preparation right now, and at least one more is on the way. And that was all I really wanted to tell you about.
Thank you.
Questions. I actually want to comment while science fair problem with not having robots there. One part, you are correct that teachers that are coming there with the students and projects, they are not the teachers that are mostly using robots, and they're afraid of that.
And the second part is in resources, because most of the robots are used in extracurricular time all the way, and there is always even a problem of taking robots to a school lesson because they are built to a custom model sometimes, and then they would have to be broken, and it would create a mess. And we say we have many schools that have robots, but actually they don't have enough. This is the
Integration of topics, content. We've struggled with that. And one of the things we find is that, especially in high school, teachers have been trained to teach one subject.
Exactly.
Because they're coming out of colleges and universities being trained to teach one subject. How can we collaborate with colleges to start teaching more integration so that our teachers come out?
Yeah. Well, it comes back to the problem that there is lack of teachers also. Yeah. So there is lack of teacher students. If we could create a new generation of teachers coming out with integration ability, and then we can start changing also explain that please cooperate with geographics teachers now. It is, but I think one solution, one part of the solution could be these kind of integrated problems that they have to solve at school that needs abilities from different subjects that you cannot do just as physics or robotics. You have to use other teachers there. So maybe this would solve it. If real life problems come to school, and you do not have to solve fake problems, but you solve these. So this could be one part of the solution.
Would people like yourself, Hello, at Cartoon, get professors that could maybe make short 5-minute videos talking about integration that could then be shared with high school teachers and students?
Sure, no problem. We need only money and time.
Not a problem.
Oh, no. Okay, just afterwards you can teach something.
Yeah, no. How much? Couple euros?
That will be a good start.
Yes, they need more practice than lectures, I think.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who are able to talk about it, but how do you do it with your 30 students in the classroom with 45 minutes, please? So it's, meantime I have also to teach the curriculum. This is a problem. And really teachers need to learn it from the beginning, when they start learning how to teach. So it's...
The subject of lack of teachers, how do you measure lack of teachers?
Oh, very easily.
When you say
yeah.
lack of teachers, one would imagine that there is a demand for teachers, but there are not enough teachers. But at the same time, we say that there is not enough demand for students to join in STEM, so there is no demand, but there is a lack of teachers. So is there a quantitative measure of what is the lack of teachers?
Yes, I do not know the number, but I read last autumn. I read a advertisement in the newspaper of a high school who was wanting to hire a mathematics teacher for basic school, not for gymnasium, for basic school, and the qualifications were as following. The person needs to have a master degree in something, and interest in mathematics would be in favor. So you do not need to have a mathematics education to go there. But anyone who would show any interest in mathematics could go and start teaching students. This is I would say a lack of teachers, really.
I can complement that example. I was a physics teacher of a middle school while not having a master's degree at all. And they were eager to get me. So this is just not one example.
Yeah. And they take students from university, from the year 1 to schools to teach because schools do not have teachers. And the teachers who are there are very old, 70 plus, and to teach them to do something differently, to integrate something, to use robotics, most of them would say that no.
I don't see the difference of lack of teachers and lack of teachers in STEM. There is a general lack of teachers. So
no,
it's not like a lack of teachers
well,
specifically in STEM. So it's
yes and no. Yes and no. The lack of teachers in STEM is extremely high. Lack of teachers in other areas is lower. With advertisements like this.
Okay, from what I got from the presentation, you are doing a number of things, trying to, I don't want to use the wrong word, but trying to convince people that STEM is a good thing. What's the argument against STEM? Who are you trying to convince? Who is this guy or girl that says STEM is not important?
There is no argument against it, but there are arguments for other areas that are stronger, because if you become a lawyer, you get much more money.
So that's the argument.
That's an argument, exactly. But if you become a scientist, I do not know how much money you get. So,
data is not this. So we have a bunch of data in the world. The richest man in the world is a software developer, actually. The richest companies are technological companies, and we make the argument that with lawyers you get more money. So that's not an argument.
Students do not relate themselves with STEM. As simple as that. Because social sciences are much stronger. Because it's just the case in Estonia. Maybe in your country it's different.
For Estonia, of course.
Yeah.
For Estonia. I'm trying to understand it. For example, do you have in Estonia a conference for language studies like this, when they gather and they say how important this is to do language studies?
Most probably we do, yes. I don't know what
I haven't found. In no country I've ever found a language study conference where they gather and they try to convince people that languages are important. It comes like from another place, so it's not like. Do you have this thing in Estonia?
Like language problem? No, I don't think we do have this kind of problems.
If you allow, I think if I'm able to understand your question right, then the thing is that STEM is integrated into education system, into formal education, actually in a very small level. You only study or touch it very theoretically in physics, in math. You even don't understand why do you need it. But language is something you use every day. And that's what we feel now, that STEM is balanced out by arts, music, dancing, all the other social things. Not that they're not needed, they're needed. But we have to fight for our position. And it's not so easy to go and say, let's put now, I don't know, robotics into first and second and third school level. Because they have to take something out. And then they say, whoa, no way. This has been like this for 30, 50 years. We're not going to put STEM into education. I don't know if I was able to.
So the main argument is that the change is difficult and there are other things that are more important.
The main argument is that, as Halo said, the STEM that is taught within the curriculum is not connected with the life. Students do not see the connection with real world. And this is the main problem. We need to change this, and then maybe also lack of STEM educated people will decrease. And the same problem is with teachers. Teacher's profession is not very fashionable in Estonia. Any teacher's profession. But STEM teachers, when you already go and study STEM, even if you become STEM teacher, then there are so many other places where you are needed and where the salary is so much higher and probably the work is so much easier than at school teaching STEM. So these people do not go there.
And you know, it's not only a problem of Estonia. For example, Germany said
Yeah.
they are going to be engineers because they get even in Germany much higher salary than just by being a teacher. And Haridus actually showed that there was a linguistic conference. There are several in May in Tartu this year, so it has been.
Okay, I think we've used our time up. So.
Okay, thank you, Terje.
Thank you.
Oops.
So you know all the a playful environment for students worldwide. Whoa, now we're cooking? Yep. Louder. Mas. Go, go. Careful. Now we're cooking with gas.
This is open doors for me as far as programming. It's open doors for me as far as meeting other people. It's helped my kids be known to across the state. It's helped me be a better teacher, a more well-rounded teacher.
I think it really feels cool to represent our city because, you know, it's like a little hometown and a lot of people have this stereotype that big things can't come out of little towns. So I think we're kind of just like able to show them, hey, we're from a little tiny town. We can do anything that you can.
We have worked so hard. We have been so many things, been programs, workshops, just perfecting everything. It's like mind-blowing.
It allows them to use parts of their brains maybe they've never used before. And so these are the hands-on activities these kids need to learn and apply to everyday lives.
We started RoboRave 14 years ago, but we have been stressing from day one our three goals: fun while learning, sharing, and I mean sharing technology, information, equipment, and teamwork. Even though I may be sitting next to another kid from another community or another country, if I need help, I turn to them and ask, can you help me? And we are seeing this year probably better than any year I've been involved. This idea of sharing and teamwork is really evident this year. 4 years ago, zero skill. She's an English teacher, not a science, not a math. She knew that she needed to change to help engage kids. And she has gone on to grow. I mean, you should have seen her the day one. She didn't even know how to really turn on the computer. You gave her a robot, and she, I don't know what to do. She just kept pushing herself because of the kids. And she's now one of the most successful little robot teachers we've got. And she's not a math or science teacher. She's just a teacher who's willing to change. You know, we are an environment about play, and we're not about winning. We really want a community that collaborates. We've got enough competition in this world. We need more collaboration. And that's the type of community we're building through RoboRave International. And I see it here at Robotex. So I hope that you'll take a look at what we've got. We're in May, so you can play in December in Robotex. Then come to New Mexico and get warm in the summertime.
He has a point in this.
Yeah. We had 1,800 students last year in May. We had 13 countries. So we have it going in France, Spain, Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and I'm working with a woman in Lithuania to get it started there. So that's what we've got in Europe. We've got Africa, we've got Asia, we've got South America. So you can plan a little vacation, go to Colombia and play robots. Or go to Beijing, have some great food and play robots. So that's RoboRave. Take a look. I would love to be a member of this family, and I would love to see you a member of our family. Thank you. Find this out. Finally, yeah. You're my man. Molly, she couldn't do it.
I wanted to also share something. Please raise hands who have seen this TEDx talk by Sir Ken Robinson about changing education products. You have, so you know what. You have it? You have, okay. I think it is a very valuable video. It's about 10 minutes. I'm not going to show it, but maybe we can make a picture and just take a look at it after, maybe tomorrow, because I think it just hits the main point what we have been talking about here in these 3 days. And without no further delay, I see the project managers of Robotex, Karl and Marta are ready. So I'm giving stage to them to finalize this conference and motivate us to have it.
So thank you very much, Sheila and Rusty, for the video. And thank you all for coming here. It's been a pleasure. Although I haven't seen the whole conference, I'm really sorry because we have a huge competition there that needs handling. And I would like to invite you all to our little banquet where we are going to have a little sparkling wine, some snacks, some desserts in about... Can you hear me or not? Okay, is it better? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, and yeah, just come back in like 30 minutes so the catering can set up some sparkling wine, some snacks, you can network, and meantime you can just go and check out our technology exhibition. And I also would like to thank Enterprise Estonia, who's helped us with the funding of this conference.
Let's make applause.
Yeah, thank you. And also, who hasn't seen Karl yet? He's the second project manager, so we're both doing the Robotex this year. So maybe Karl wants to say a couple of words as well.
So hello, very nice to meet you all. I came here that you see my face too. I am basically, I think you can say that I am the guy behind the scenes. Mart is the face in TV and media and at conference. And I am responsible for the technical part of the competitions and whole building and so on, so on. I'm really glad that you joined our little conference here. I think it's going to be a very important part of Robotex during next years, because we would like to grow to a robot festival, not be a robot competition anymore, and add more and more interesting activities every year. So thank you, and see you at Banquet.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you also for Marily there, who has organized the conference here for us. Okay, see you guys in that.